Hey fellas, welcome back. I've been kicking around here every now and again over the last 5 months, and it's just not the same without you guys here. There's a lot of nice grass, there's a lot of nice buildings and stone, but it's not the same without your spirit, your energy, kind of walk around the halls and hearing your laughter and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to have you back, even if it's just for like a minute and a half, right? And then hopefully we'll get back to it soon. I'm going to talk a little bit, then Mr. Maragna, Mr. Marinacci will be down, and the SGA is here to talk just for a few minutes, and we're not going to keep it too long, although I wish we could talk for most of the day. What I want to tell you is I loved junior year. If I look back at high school, that was like my favorite year was junior year. Because back then, we really didn't worry about, at least I wasn't worried about college maybe until like senior year. I had just got my license and I could go to 7-Eleven or Dunkin' Donuts whenever I felt like it. There was a freedom about junior year that I liked. There's also a part of junior year that's important. And that's like you guys are the heartbeat of the school. You're the ones who have been here for a while. You get it. And you're not leaving yet. Like your mind, you're not leaving yet, I hope. But 5 months is also a long time for us to be apart. I don't know what you've been up to. Where have you been? What are you thinking? How do you feel about what's happening in our country? Mr. Ronnie is going to talk eloquently about universal truths in a few minutes. I'd like to point us all to our mission statement. And maybe it's going to be a little weird, I don't know, to remind a bunch of 17-year-old guys about one element of our mission statement to help guide us through. Guide us through not being together, being apart for 5 months, and you guys being disconnected from Loyola in a physical way for 5 months. And what I want to ask you to do over the next day, when you're back on campus next week, is to reconnect with our grad goal, loving. If we were all a little more loving, we'd see our way through problems a little bit better. Fellas, I have a college degree and a master's degree, and I get confused some days looking around our world. But if I go back to some of our foundational truths, and I go back to loving, and inform my loving with religions, inform myself with some good understanding, I see more clearly. So if we can do that, I think we're going to be all right. If we can do that, the distance won't matter as much later on. I hope we all get to see each other real soon. I love seeing you just for a minute. It's great to have you back. I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Maragna, and look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. You guys have a long weekend already, right? So have a good one, and take care of one another.
Can you just ask the guys, sort of in the back two rows here, if you're in the back two rows, just to come up front. I understand I need to be standing in front of the camera here. Thanks, guys. Just make it a little bit easier for me and for Mr. Marinacci and for our other presenters here, our SBA guys. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. So I'm a proud graduate of Loyola, class of 2000, been 20 years. And after I graduated here and after I graduated from Loyola College, now Loyola University, I lived in the Philippines for a while. So I lived in the Philippines for about 9 years altogether in a small city of 15 million people, Manila. And it's just a big, dense, urban monstrosity of a city, tons of traffic. And so I made it a point to get out as often as I could. And one summer, I took a vacation with a couple of friends to this part of the Philippines called Palawan. And in Palawan, there are a number of different islands. And so we chartered a boat, and one day we just went island hopping. These tiny little secluded, remote islands, white sand beaches, crystal clear water, coral reefs. It was beautiful, had a great day. And one of the islands we visited was an island called Barracuda Island. And it was kind of this rocky, limestone-looking cliff type of island. And so we climbed up onto Barracuda Island, and in the center of the island is a lake, aptly named Barracuda Lake, for the mythical but non-existent barracuda that swam its waters. And so looking down into the lake, it looked beautiful. This lake surrounded by kind of these white cliffs all around. And so we got into the lake, and it's a couple 100 meters in diameter, maybe 50 to 150 feet deep at its deepest. And so we thought, okay, this is like a big swimming pool, let's just go in. So we're swimming in the middle of it, and within just a few minutes, we all felt really nervous. First of all, it's supposedly this lake, but there are like these waves that we couldn't explain where they're coming from. And it would be like really warm in some parts, but then really cold in other parts. And I had goggles on, and I put my head under water, and not only could I not see all that clearly, it looked blurry, like if I took my contacts out, for those of you who wear glasses. So I didn't understand what was going on, and it was dead silent except for like a bird, every once in a while. It was just creepy, and like our hearts were beating fast, and so we got out of the lake, and we just kind of appreciated the sight, and we're like, okay, we'll find somewhere else to swim. Well, 4 years later, I went back to Barracuda Lake, but this time I was scuba diving certified, and the friends I was with were also scuba divers. So we went back to the lake, and we said, well, what's in this lake? We got into the lake, and within the first couple of feet of a descent, it was still blurry, but after like 3 or 4 feet of blurriness, it actually got really, really clear. And that like white limestone type looking cliff that we saw outside of the water, we saw it go down into the water as well. And so actually, as we descended, if you went face down descending, it kind of felt like you were flying. It was really cool. And the water down there was really, really still and peaceful. And we saw these little crabs like hanging out on the cliffs. We later found out that this lake is fed by volcanic springs, which explained the hot water, but it also had an outlet to the open ocean, which explained the cold water. And the mix of the two creates something called a thermocline, which explains the blurriness of the water. And to this day, it's one of my favorite dives. And if I had only ever stayed on the surface, I would have thought of Barracuda Lake as just kind of that creepy, anxiety-inducing place. And I think about Barracuda Lake as I ponder your junior year. You've got a lot coming at you. It's halftime now, right? Second half. Academics are counting a little bit more. We're asking you to be leaders on the field, right? In extracurriculars. Some of you are thinking about college, and how is college going to make sense of your academics and your athletics this year? You add on to that a global pandemic, online learning, racial tension, an election. There's a lot that can cause us stress and anxiety. I hope that as we go through this year, you turn to some scientifically tested methods for managing that stress. That you take time to exercise, that you get enough sleep, that you take breaks away from the screen and away from social media, that you take the opportunity to pray or meditate, be mindful. But I also hope you take the time to turn to some time-tested methods as well. The ancient Greek philosophers Plato and Aristotle said, if you want to get out of the worry of the day-to-day circumstances of your life, set your sights on those eternal truths that Mr. Schlichting was talking about. They asked 3 questions. What is truth? What is beauty? What is goodness? And you can pursue those truths relentlessly because they are inexhaustible questions. Unlike the day-to-day circumstances that change and shift, asking those most fundamental, essential, inexhaustible questions will lead you to a path not dissimilar from diving into Barracuda Lake. You'll get past that murkiness, you'll get past those unexplainable waves, and you'll see the calm and clarity that lies underneath all of that day-to-day matters. Your curriculum this year will help you do that. To make sense of the madness that is our everyday world, we have physics to help us to understand the fundamental principles that underlie reality. As you're trying to understand the madness of the human condition, you can turn to British literature and look at these ancient truths and universal truths that we see in art and in novels. In theology class, many of you are taking philosophy, a way for us to explore what's eternal and what's true. So as the day-to-day gears turn, as you think about what will you study in college, what courses will you take, what are your grades going to be, there's no more important question than who is it that you're going to become? And where in your life will you find truth, goodness, and beauty? I invite you to take that dive. We'll be there with you. Have a great year, guys.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to campus. I hope you all had a great summer. So we're here to talk to you a little bit about the student government and different ways that you can get involved this year. Andrew's going to start off by telling you about our officers and the positions that we have.
Yeah, guys, welcome back to campus. So our new officers are going to be Will as our president. I'm going to be a new VP of Communications. Peter Lukic is going to be our VP of Service. And Kwaku Sarbang is going to be our new VP of Clubs and Activities. And then your grades, AJ Larkin is going to be our Director of Spirit. So Will's going to talk about what we do as the SGA.
So as VP of Service, Peter's really going to be focusing on promoting service and getting you guys the information about the canned food drive and events like the blood drive and Adopt a Family. As VP of Clubs and Activities, Kwaku is going to be finding ways to get you guys involved. And as Director of Spirit, AJ is really going to be focusing on promoting school spirit and also working with boosters. So what do we do together, though? What does student government do? So typically, we plan forums, pep rallies, and dances, but our job is really to engage the community. So this year, we're going to be working on doing that through Community Day events, which are going to be taking place on Fridays. That's something you guys can really look forward to. We also bring student concerns to the administration. We work with development, so we help with social media. We promote school spirit, and then we also promote service. And if you guys are interested in service, I really recommend thinking about joining the service committee. It's a great group, and it's the group that organizes everything service related here at Loyola. High school is a time to try new things, and so I really recommend that you find new ways to get involved during your junior year. And Andrew's going to tell you a little bit about our clubs, which are one way that you guys can get involved.
Yeah, so our clubs are Cybersecurity, American Politics Club, Drone Club, Environmental Club, Outdoor Club, which is a new club that basically goes outside and goes on hikes. We have Service Committee, Speech and Debate, Yearbook, Blakefield Ambassadors, which helps out with admissions, and Blakefield Insider, which reports on different things that are going on around campus. And then another new thing that we're going to be having this year is monthly open virtual SGA meetings, which you guys can attend, and Will's going to talk a little bit more about that.
So those are just some of the clubs that we've confirmed are happening this fall, but you'll be able to see all of them at a virtual activities fair that will be taking place on one of our first community days. And as Andrew said, one of the ways you'll be able to get directly involved with the SGA is through our new open meetings. And these are for any student, any staff or faculty member to come and attend and share their thoughts, their ideas, their feelings, their concerns. So for example, service project ideas, or ideas for our community days, or thoughts that you want conveyed to the administration. We're here because we want you to come to us. We want to make your Loyola experience better. So we would love for you to come to the meetings or message any one of the 5 officers at any time, or approach us on campus if you see us. I hope you guys are excited, as both of us are, for this year. It's going to be a great year. Even in a different learning format, we're working to make sure you have a great experience here at Loyola. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, good morning. Still morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. How are you? Yes, sir. Good to see you. Welcome back. So, you've heard from a lot of people today, so I'm just gonna. I think I back clean up, and I think you guys get out of here. So why don't I say this instead? There's just a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. One is leadership. It's time. You guys step up as leaders, right? This is the time. When you're freshmen, you don't know anything, you're scared. When you're sophomores, you think you know a lot of stuff, but you don't care about anybody else. When you're seniors, your eyes are oftentimes on what's next. So that leaves us to look to you. You guys know how this place works. You know what we stand for. You know what we expect. More importantly, you've gone through things at this school that no one else has ever gone through before as students, from the time you came here to now. We need you to step up as the leaders for us. There's things you are going to be able to do in a position of leadership as juniors, as students, that I will never be able to do. I will never, ever be a Don. Mr. Bear is, Mr. Bowers is, Ms. Marania is, maybe an honorary Don I could be. I never went here. You have a certain amount of power because it's your school that matters to you. But in that leadership, you're not alone. I want to remind you of 3 things. I've been speaking to the 6th grade class. The parents are nervous, the kids are nervous. I want to put it very differently for you guys, because you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when we talk about our mission here. The first thing, I want you to all be clear about this. We love you. All right? We love you guys. It still might make us feel a little uncomfortable hearing that, but we love you. All right? And that means when we love you, the next thing is you belong here. From the moment you walked in here, you belong here. For who you are, for what you do, for what you believe. And the third thing is this: you are never alone. I want to remind you now, you think you might be like a man, you think you might have it all worked out, you think you got that great group of friends, and that is good. But use all your resources. We're in a time, junior year, stressful as it is. Everybody starts talking about college, what are you going to do next, and all this stuff. Hey, there's a lot going on in the world right now. You guys are still young men. You're 17 years old, 16 years old. Use your resources. We are here for you. We are with you. Can't read your minds, though. Reach out. Let us know. What do you need? What do you want? You are never alone. You never will be. You are a Don. Gentlemen, I am so happy to see you. I know this isn't what we would have picked, but I'd rather see you this way than not see you at all. I can't wait seeing you walking through the hallways, going to your classes. I know you'd rather hear from your teachers than me, so we're going to get you out of here. Any closing business? Anything for the greater good? Hey, junior class, go get them. Have a great day. I'll see you guys later.
See you guys later.